You won't feel a thing.
Ooh. The big boys have come out to say hello. All right, peed myself because the hole is too small. Not the most masculine thing when you're in full orange and driving a truck. Bit sad, but it's good fun. Drinking out of a puppy cup. Round the studio lights. Keep going, keep going. She's going to fall to the bottom of the stairs and snap her neck. Being a little overcautious, I think. It's Monday morning. You can tell we're heading into winter, can't you? It's just gone 7:30 and it's not even light yet. Right, should probably do this before James sees. I was in Birmingham over the weekend. Birmingham? After we did the tool bag tour, you know, the tool bag video we did, I thought I'd give his bag a little trial run. So I took his bag over the weekend. It's a heavy beast though. Should put this back inside before he notices. I put that earth, I'm going to take that out because he'll know I've fucking been in there. I'm not going to say anything. Let's see if he cottons on today. He'll know somehow. I don't know how, but I just know he's going to know. So we'll leave it there. We'll update you later. Right team, we are back. We are back down in South London. We're doing a bit of fault finding today. You'll remember this board, which was in some previous content. I'll leave a link for it up here. Now, my understanding is that this used to be a Wilex dual RCD board. At some point in time, some bright spark decided, well, a fault appeared on a circuit somewhere in the house on one of these, and rather than get to the bottom of the fault, he figured it'd be easier to take the RCD out and just put a main switch in. So when we opened the board and I first saw a main switch, I was like, you just know there's a fault, because there'd be no reason you'd do that unless there was a fault you just couldn't get to the bottom of, because you're just not clever enough to find it. So yeah, we've got a new RCD and we've got to get to the bottom of the fault. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what an RCD is a residual current device. This is really crude, simplistic terminology. Basically, all it does is it measures how much power goes out through live and how much comes back through neutral. And if there is an imbalance, it turns off, basically, to protect the user. So it literally just trips. Now, generally, when there's an imbalance, it's because there is a leakage somewhere to earth, i.e. you're getting electrocuted. So they are actually quite an important device. So for some schlep to put a main switch in, it's just like, you look at it, I'm just like, really, you lazy, it's just laziness, you know, you just can't get to the bottom of the problem. So what we're going to do is, I know the fault is going to be on one of these circuits somewhere. I'll wait until she's boiled the kettle, because that, quite frankly, is the most important thing. Wait till she's boiled the kettle and we've got cups of coffee here. Then we're going to turn the sockets off and we'll start working out which circuit the fault lies on. Ooh, she makes good coffee. To people wondering why we have two RCDs, this is actually quite an old method you can still go out and buy dual RCD boards, but basically dual RCD gives you a bit of discrimination between circuits. So actually the camera guy just a second ago did ask the question, well, why can't we just put one RCD that protects everything? You could do, and it is a way of doing it. It's a poor way of doing it, because if you have one RCD that protects all of these circuits completely, two things will happen. A, you've got no discrimination between circuits, so if that RCD trips, it just plunges the entire house into darkness. And if Betty Crocker's coming down the stairs with a hot cup of tea and the power trips, she's going to fall to the bottom of the stairs and snap her neck and get third-degree burns. So it's generally not considered very good practice. I personally, when I see that on a property, I class it as a C2, because I just think there's just no need for it. You know, we live in a day and age where we can have RCBOs now, which is the next step up from these. So rather than having an RCD, we can just have RCBOs. So an RCBO is basically an MCB, which is one of these, combined with an RCD. So it just gives you ultimate protection. Well, it doesn't give you ultimate protection. In fact, RCBOs do actually give more protection than an RCD, but I mean, that's because they're a Type A and these are Type AC RCDs, and Type A's give protection for DC devices, but we won't go into that on this video. But yeah, they just give you more discrimination, because if an RCBO trips, it just takes out the one circuit and all of the others stay on. If an RCD trips, you might as well just do that, because that's literally what it's doing. Yeah, teaching with Tom. Let's drop the buzz bar out and let's whack an RCD in there. I know the power's off because I can see a solid red light there, but just to scratch the old curiosity itch, we're good. Yeah, I've definitely grown into this thing of just checking. Even though you see things are off, it's good just to check. Right, RCD is in, it's not tripping straight away, which is good. Okay, so it trips on the sockets, straight off. Okay. Right, okay, there's a lot of faults. I think this is starting to make sense now. Probably what's happened, thinking about this, there was an old board here, someone's upgraded it, tried to put a dual RCD board in with good intentions, switched on both the RCDs and they both went on this and they switched off. So he's basically moved all of the faulty circuits to this side, put a main switch in and just left two circuits here, one which is the cooker and the other one which is the garage lights that are working. And all the other ones, he moved it to this side, I would guess.
12 seconds later.
Right, so it would appear that that first breaker of 32, that does the kitchen appliances. Now, that one is actually holding now. So I've got a feeling that that's not a wiring issue, that's something they've got plugged in causing that. If it's a wiring issue, generally it's either there or it's not. It doesn't change. The wire, you know, if the wiring's shot, the wiring's shot. As if there's a fault, there's a fault. It doesn't, unless there's rain or something, you get damp and moisture problems, but I don't think that's the case here. That is holding all right now every time you reset it. It's got no issues at all. And it resets absolutely fine. So I've got a feeling there's an appliance in the kitchen which is causing an issue. That one there, I think, is the upstairs socket. It's the one that's tripping, like so. So we've got a faulty lighting circuit and a fault on the upstairs sockets. See, this is why I like RCBOs rather than block RCDs like this. Because with RCBOs, you get less leakage per breaker, if that makes any sense. So if you imagine all the kitchen appliances, let's say each kitchen appliance, a washing machine, let's say that's leaking 1.5 milliamps or something, the microwave 1 milliamp. Well, you add all that up, it's got to go through that RCD, but then if you add up the bedroom socket, the sockets in the rest of the house, the living room, you've got leakage on appliances, it's natural to have leakage. By the time you start adding all that up, your RCD starts tripping. And there isn't actually a fault anywhere, it's just you've got a lot of appliances plugged in through one RCD, which is why I'm not a lover of dual RCD boards for this exact reason. You start plugging in lots of appliances and you end up chasing your tail for a fault that isn't even there. It's just all the leakage on the appliances is building up through each MCB and it's causing the RCD thinks there's an issue, but there isn't. It's just the amount of stuff you've got plugged in. Because I've done that before. You take them out and you put RCBOs in, fault clears straight away because there isn't a fault there. It's just you're splitting down the leakage from 2 RCDs to 10 RCBOs. Interestingly, this RCD isn't tripping. Do a ramp test, it goes straight up to 33 milliamps. There's either a fault with that RCD, which could be, or it's not getting a path to earth for some reason, but it is. It's got a clean path. It goes straight to the incomer right there. Definitely on the right. I'm on the south side of the RCD, yeah. RCD ain't tripping. I definitely got voltage in the right places. All right, let me swap out this RCD, because it might be a defective RCD. 2 minutes. Right, I only had one YLX RCD on the van, so I'm marrying up a load of spare ones that I carry. GWiz doesn't fit, MK doesn't fit, but Axiom, which is one of those remodeled brands, fits like a glove. So I'm going to throw this Axiom one in just for a second, just to do some fault finding to confirm whether this is actually a faulty RCD or whether there is a more sinister problem at bay here. It's actually printed neutral, live neutral on this, but it actually doesn't make any difference which way you wire these. Being an electrician is basically being a detective. You spend a lot of your time doing this sort of stuff, fault finding, getting to the bottom of issues and problems, you know, invariably problems other people couldn't find. There you are. FYI, Axiom fits YLX boards. Not that we encourage fitting of alternative brands, because it actually goes against manufacturer's instructions. I'm just doing it here just for fault finding, just to try and confirm whether my theory that we have a faulty RCD is right. That one's also not tripping, but the test button isn't operating on that one. Proteus also fits like a glove. Now maybe with that Axiom it could be, I didn't think it actually made any difference on these, whether live and neutral, which way round, because neutral on this on an Axiom RCD is on the left side. I didn't think that made any difference. Maybe it does though. I didn't think it did, but I could be wrong. I'm open to be told I'm wrong there. I would just go to the wholesaler and pick up a new YLX RCD, but if I can find one out of the van that fits and it is compatible for a second, then I'll just do that because it just saves time. Just trying to get to the bottom of a fault. Yeah, I don't come out on the tools a huge amount now. I mean, I do, but as you see, the videos are more sort of business development based now rather than electrical based, but sometimes I come out on the tools. Sometimes there are clients that only want to see me. I couldn't sit in an office 5 days a week anyway. That's just not my bag. So I like coming out occasionally on the tools. I say it fits perfectly, it actually doesn't, but it's near enough, just for the sake of a bit of fault finding. Right, this RCD with everything off, but the RCD on testing on the south side, it trips 24, which I'd say is about right. They never trip bang on 30, although they say 30 milliamps. I've never ever seen one in the world that ever trips exactly on 30. They always trip 24, 25, somewhere around there. So that's right. I'm comfortable with that. That 20 is all right. That 32, don't like. Yeah. Okay, so we know we've got a functioning RCD now. Okay, so that Wilex one, shot. Yeah, don't just assume RCDs are working when you put them in a board, because as I've just proven, that they don't. Right, so whatever sockets are on now in the house are the only ones which are functioning fine. So it was tripping at 24 milliamps. So there's zero leakage on that circuit at all. It's quite comfortable with that one, because it's still taking 24 milliamps to trip. Let's go back to basics. Do we actually have rings? I think we do on these circuits. Yeah, we've got rings, 0.5. Ah, this was the one where they bunched the earth together. People who twist earths deserve to have their eyes gouged out with a dessert spoon. There's no need for doing it. 1.15. Is that about right? Let's check. What did we have? 0.50 times by 1.67. It's 0.83. 1.15 on the earth. It's a little high, but I wouldn't say it's horrendously bad, but it is higher, but it is intact. So we know we've got intact rings. So let's see if we've got leakage. Let's put it on 250 because we have got stuff plugged in. 64 ohms, not bad. Mega ohms, I should say. 68 mega ohms. Ain't nothing wrong with that circuit. That is fine. I did hear a thing that apparently the earths should be in the earth bar when you do this test, but just for the sake of diagnosing each circuit one by one, I like to do it this way, disconnect it completely and just test the bare circuit. I'm pretty sure, in fact, if I test live to neutral, I'm pretty sure it'll just say there's a short, because I'm pretty sure there's stuff plugged in. Yeah, there is. So we've got stuff plugged in on the circuit, but live to neutral wouldn't matter so much, because if there was a short between live to neutral, it would just trip the MCB, it wouldn't trip the RCD, it would be the MCB that trips, and we haven't got that problem. It's the RCD tripping, so we know it's an earth issue, but it ain't on that circuit. So let's just push that one up out of the way, and let's test the next one. Continuity again, Crocs back to back, and off we go. All right, let's test. So this one is the kitchen appliances. So let's just do continuity first. We're good, 0.77. Just recheck that again. It is a little high, but it is quite a long way away, to be fair. 0.81, okay, it's a little bit higher, but nothing to write home about. 1.89, that is high. Say 0.80, worst case, times by 1.67. It's 1.33 we should have had on the earth, CPC, and instead we're getting 1.9. So say 1.4 is the max we should have had. 1.4, 1.5, we're getting 1.8, so that is high. But it is continuous, so even if there's a bit of a loose connection or something, it is there. I like when I do fault finding, do the absolute basics, do your end-to-ends, make sure you've got those intact, and just sort of work. You know, you've got to be super methodical when it comes to testing. 250, off we go. 7 mega ohms. The kitchen is low. Don't forget that's with all of the appliances plugged in. So ideally what we'd need to do is go around, disconnect, unplug every single appliance as best we can. I mean, you've still got things like fridges fed off fuse spurs and stuff, but that is still passable. By the book, I'm not actually convinced it's anything to do with that, to be honest. So we'll put that out of the way as well. You know what? I've seen it before. I've got a sneaking suspicion that it's the lighting circuit that's causing this issue. I don't actually think it's anything to do with these rings, because I guarantee if I take that lighting circuit out and I put those back in, that RCD will operate fine. It's that lighting circuit which is causing the issue. It's back feeding through the neutral of that lighting circuit somehow. That's going to be my guess. Right, the next circuit is 2 radials, so it's not a ring that's been broken, it is actually just 2 radials, because we've got one radial which comes down to this socket here, and one which goes into, disappears up into the house. The reason I do this, I take all the circuits out one by one, it builds a clearer picture. Like if you've got a brand new installation, we used to do it at Colston's, when we had big 3-phase panels and stuff, you just used to knock the main switch off, turn all of the breakers on, the whole installation, and you would literally just on the bottom buzz bar like that, boom, 500 volts, you test the entire installation. But those are installations which are completely bare. There's nothing plugged in. I mean, they're totally fresh, new installations. And you can test like 36, 40 circuits with one test. And there's no reason why you can't do it that way. But on older systems like this, where you don't know the wiring, you don't know when it was installed, you don't know how it's been maintained, you don't really know anything about it. So I find it's easier to do it like this. And you isolate circuit by circuit. So radial circuit is clear. Let's test live to neutral. See if there's anything plugged in. No, there's not. That's an empty circuit. There is nothing on that. So wherever that cable goes, I don't know, but it's clean. Live to earth, live to neutral, neutral to earth. I don't know if I tested that. Let's test neutral to earth on that. Yeah, that leaves one circuit, that lighting circuit. That's all that's left. Mildred, I won't be home. Fetched the Jag. We've made a discovery. I'm off down the pub. I get quite excited when I made a discovery. Right, we've got one lighting circuit that is CAC, essentially. We've got 2 lighting circuits in this property. One of them is this banger here, which is giving us 120 mega ohms. Absolutely fine. It's not 299, but it is still perfectly acceptable, considering it's quite an old install, 125. This one, we've just got shorts all over the joint. So live to earth, I've got dead short, 0. And neutral to earth, we've also got a dead short. It's not happy. So whatever's on that circuit is not a happy bunny. Okay, theoretically, if I put everything back now, it should all work, except for that lighting circuit. Blast it all, Mildred. Yeah, that's working fine now. So with the ominous lighting circuit disconnected, all the other ones are absolutely fine now. So it does go to show, even if you've got one circuit with the fault on it, because it's joining neutral to earth together, it will still affect all of the other circuits, which is why I like to disconnect them one by one, test each one. That one's okay, right, move on to the next one, test the next one, yes, that one's okay. And you just keep doing that process, because that's exactly what happened here. You've got a fault on this circuit, but because it's one RCD which protects multiple circuits, it will still affect all of them. So hence my love of RCBOs, why you always see me fit RCBOs, because you just don't get these issues. With an RCBO board, you could just tell straight away, oh, it's, that circuit there. It would be super simple. Everything else is on now except that. So let's go inside and see what lights are off. I'm guessing that probably does the whole house most likely, and that does the toilet room or something most likely. Wouldn't surprise me. Luckily, we've got 2 floors here. We've got this floor and the next floor up, but we've got pendants in every room. So theoretically, if we just go around and disconnect the feed in and feed out at one pendant, switch it on, see if it trips. If it isn't, plug it back in, move to the next one. Eventually, you just keep disconnecting and reconnecting, and eventually you'll just get to the bottom of the problem, which is what I've done now. So I've just disconnected the feeds. I'll just installation test it now, see if the fault's cleared, and if it has, then I'll know it's somewhere from this point onwards. Okay, so we've still got a neutral to earth fault, but the live to earth fault has now cleared. There's more than one fault on that circuit. Oh, this is going to be a testing one. We've got 2 different faults on this circuit. This is something that has not been maintained well. Yeah, live to earth is definitely cleared now. We've got a live to earth fault, but we've also got a neutral to earth fault on the same circuit. All right, give us an hour or so, let us dig, and we're back in a bit.
Eventually.
Our perilous journey has brought us into the bathroom. A new bathroom, actually. It would appear that there is a wiring fault somewhere in this bathroom. They haven't actually, it's a brand new bathroom. They haven't even made their final payment on the bathroom yet. So I found that rather amusing, actually. So I've got a feeling they might be holding that final payment for a bit longer. But all the other lights in the property are working. It's just this bathroom, something in this bathroom. We've got some little lights, I don't know how well you can see, in this little canopy, this little soffit under here. Beautifully wide, I must say. I've got this rather lovely spectacle up here. So I'm just sort of going through trying to work out. It's not the supply coming in. I wanted to eliminate the supply from the hallway because it's basically been tapped off the hallway light fitting. It's come into the bathroom. It's not the supply coming in. So it's something within this room. But what, I don't know. I'm going to try and investigate, but at the moment we don't know. And to be honest, it's a bit of a Yeah, it's not pretty, I'll be honest. I've seen far better. So I'll update you in a moment once we know a little bit more. Right, so we've got to the bottom of the problem. Now, this isn't actually it. Over in this box up here, in fact, I'll just leave a picture on the screen. That's why I don't like cable clamps. I like the ones where you can select the pressure. Someone just tightened that up so much. It's forced the earth onto the neutral, and it's just dug through the insulation, and it's caused the exact problem we were having. So I've relieved it. I mean, I'm not going to fix it because I think the other people who came in and did the bathroom, they're going to have to come back and do various bits and pieces. But I don't really know how you get around this problem. I'm a bit perplexed as to how you fix this, because you pull these little lights out and it's not ideal. The only way I can think of getting around that now is you get those little gel boxes, you know, the really narrow. They're designed, I think, probably for these sort of applications. It's a really narrow gel box, but it gives you an IP68 rated seal. It doesn't give you the cable grip ability, but I mean, yeah, in this current situation, I think we're just going to have to do what we can with what we've got. But those little, they're like that long. They're designed for this, I think, for this sort of thing. But they'll probably have to go on because we can't put like a D box on this because the hole is too small. But I mean, that should have really been thought through when it was being wired in the first place. Yeah, what these are for, I've got no idea. What this wire is, I don't know. There's a lot of sort of extra stray wires. We don't really know what they do in this bathroom. I've got no idea what that's for. Pass, I don't know, but that's someone else's issue. I'm going through the manual trying to find the where it says where you can install this fan. You know, I was saying in the previous video, if I can find the video, I'll leave a link up here for it. And I was talking about extractor fans, and that if you have a mains voltage fan in zone 1, which we've got here, it will say in the manual where you can and can't fit it. Because generally, if they've got a mains voltage option and a 12-volt option, as a good rule of thumb, generally the mains voltage one, it will say in their handbook you can't fit it in zone 1, because that's why they have a 12-volt option. However, that said, I'm going to backtrack on what I've said, because I'm looking in the manual for this fan. There is not a single thing in that manual which says where you can and can't fit it. It's like it tells you the IP rating, which is IP24. Generally, they'll give you the bathroom zone picture, and they'll put a thing there saying this can be installed in this area, yada, yada, yada. But this one, not a thing. It just says IP24, which, if I'm right in saying, that's not suitable, because it's got to be IP40, well, it's IPX4. I'm going to have to check, actually. And those lights are a bit of a pain, because the driver pack for those lights is behind this tiled wall. So, of course, when the driver pack dies, you can't change it, which is really, that was not a thought through design. Someone was not thinking, because when they die, you've just got no way of changing. You literally can't get to that driver pack, which is a real shame. That's why normally I'll put it outside the bathroom, even if I've got to put it behind the light switch. If you've got to take the back box out, at least you can still get to it, you know? But yeah, someone wasn't thinking. Everybody, it is the next day. Now we're back out on the truck again today. We've got some containment which we're taking out of a property. So we are going to get in the truck now. We're going to see you over there. I don't know what content we're going to get, but we're going to go with the flow. I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, this is actually James's cup. I'll be honest, not the most masculine thing when you're in full orange and driving a truck, you know, drinking out of a puppy cup, but it'll do. It's the only one that was in the unit, so I had to use this one. So today I got a little bit of it's just containment I've got to take down. It's old containment that's the cabling's all been removed, so it's not necessary, and it's just got to come down. So it's too high up for a set of steps, really. You could probably do it off a set of 12 treads, but I'm not risking it, so it's just easier. I got the truck, so we'll just use that. In episode 1 of Nagy Weekly, because we're doing it by episode now, because it's much easier to reference back to it, there were quite a number of you saying I wasn't wearing my lid. The honest answer is I actually just forgot. In the stress of my first setup, I actually just forgot. The amount of times, honestly, straight up, the amount of times I've gone into the bucket, I've worn all of this, but I forgot to click in. The amount of times I've done that, because it's just, you should, what I'm going to do is actually have a laminated list there, and there's a process. So before you go up in the boom, you just tick each one off, have a proper process. So yeah, I forgot, in all honesty. So yeah. It's actually, to be fair, it's a heavy lid, but it is really good. I mean, you could wear this for like 8-10 hours comfortably without any issues at all, but it is, yeah. All right, I am actually tied in, yeah. I wasn't joking when I said that. The amount of times I've done this and you've taken off and you're just so preoccupied you forget to tie in. It's when you get back down to the ground you're like, oh. So this is what's coming out. This is just an old pipe. They're taking all the cabling out of it. And all we've got to do is just come behind and just start taking all this old containment out. So I can't show you too much more because we've got to get a lick on here, but that's what I'm doing today. There is some other stuff around the other side of the building actually. I might show you that a little later on this afternoon, but that's the plan. So all of this containment, this all comes out. Some around the other side. Happy days.
You won't feel a thing.
I know this is empty because the end of the conduit over there is empty, but I am just a little bit apprehensive what's in it. I'm just thinking if I go a bit further out and scour this all the way around and just have a closer look. Yeah, I think that's an old set of the old braided cables. Yeah, that's long gone dead. It's my new contract and I'm just making absolutely triple sure that everything's dead and off, which I know it is. I'm just being a little overcautious, I think. Those aren't a guaranteed method, but they are handy just for like, just triple checking what you already know is dead sort of thing. All right, this can come down with us. All right, let's move over there, cut that bit out. Our RISQS registration in the end came to about, it's difficult to put a price to it exactly because there's a lot of complexities to it, but I would say it cost in the region of about somewhere between 20-25 grand to get it. Maybe the south side of 25, 21, somewhere around there, I would say, roughly. And our HERS registration, I mean, don't even talk about that. That's another level altogether. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Right. The big boys have come out to say hello. All right, I think we can leave it like that. I don't think it needs to come out. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Right, note to self. Yeah, 100% polyester. It's not breathable. You put these on over your trousers, but you'd have thought you could breathe. There's, you know, get air at the top, air at the bottom, but it don't work like that. These are absolutely soaked. It's disgusting. I feel like I peed myself. It's properly not nice. So we're gonna have some lunch. There's a chip shop around the corner somewhere. We're gonna have some lunch. Yeah, we've cut all this pipe work, so that's all gone now. All that's come down. So I'm working inside now, so we can't get any content in there, but I'll update you a little later on after we've had lunch. Everybody, welcome back. We're now on the next day. Now we've got another program of work which is starting, where we've got, in fact, some of these street lights here, these ones here, these heads on these lights have all got to be changed. They're sodium or methane, I don't know which ones they are yet, but we've got to change them out to LEDs. So first thing we've got to do is I've got to get up there and check to see the new lights that they've supplied. I don't know whether they're compatible with these fittings, these column toppers. So let's go up and we'll have a look together. Yeah, we've got to take one of these off to see whether the new lights are compatible with these column toppers. We want to see if we've got enough length on this spigot that comes out, but I think we have actually, there's loads. Yeah, so that's the spigot which comes out the column topper there. So all I wanted to check was just that we've got enough length on the spigot just to put the new fittings on, which we have. We've got bags. So these fittings are on column droppers. But I just wanted to, while I've got the truck here, just wanted to have a quick look to see what we've got here, what the setup is. But it's easy enough. Same thing again, you've got a flex. On these ones, we're going to replace the flexes and we're going to use a column dropper. So we're not actually going to have to use the truck for these at all. So we'll put new flexes on and we'll have a look at the cutouts while we're down there. So yeah, that's the inside of one. If you've always wondered or ever wondered what they are, this is it. So yeah, we'll change these over and we'll put the same ones, you know, the Sylvania ones which we put in that last job. Same ones will go in here, and we'll just do the whole estate here in those. So let me put this back on and get back down on terra firma, and I'll see you in a mo. This is what I'm on about. Look. In his fucking truck, no helmet, no harness, fuck all, you know. Look, there you go. He's just done some BT work up there. So he's got no helmet, no harness, you know, absolutely nothing. Also, I'd like to point out, I don't think that that's right either, but I mean, that's, you know, people going, oh, put your helmet on, not being funny, they're not even wearing a fucking harness, you know, but that's, you know, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just showing you there's far worse going on out there, you know. So if I go up occasionally and I forget to put my lid on or something. Sorry. Right, bloody noisy here. Right, next operation. What's happened here? This earth cable's just come off this tray. They're just plastic zip ties, and the light is just out. It's just made them deteriorate and they've snapped. So we're going to replace it with some stainless steel ties. But top tip: when you use steel ties, wear gloves. You will cut your hands if you don't. They are really, really sharp. Once you fit them, they're fit and forget. You haven't got to touch them again. You can actually buy it's a stainless steel zip tie cutter. I'm just using a pair of snips, but you can buy them. I will invest in one actually. I've got to be honest, this boom was worth every penny. I don't care who says what. It's worth. You can just turn up and just put your jack pads out, boop, 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 and up you go. You just start working. No scaffolds, no towers, no nothing. You just work. You just earn money quick, you know? It's so good. Expensive machine, but worth it. I think worth every penny. All right, everybody, now it is Thursday night. To finish this video, this is the new thing for Thursdays. This is our Thursday sort of guy night thing. It's a bit sad, but it's good fun. It's scooter night, right? So this is what we do. So we've got the unit, we set out our little obstacle course. I'll scoot you around the course. So every week, somebody designs the course a little differently. So this is my design tonight. So, all right, so this is the start line. So we've got the street lights, our new street lights, okay? So we start here, around the cone, under the boom, tight turn, round the electrician at work sign, through the chapter 8 chevrons, round, round, okay, through the DIY, round the workbench. Oh, that's come off. Round the studio lights. Keep going, round there, and back through the cones. It's quite a hard course, this one, but you get the gist. So this is what we'll be doing tonight. Thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. Give the little bell icon a tickle, and we will see you in a couple of days' time. Take care.